Should the public have to pay to go on tours of Buckingham Palace and Balmoral? It's time for tonight's head-to-head. Yeah, so for the first time, the royal family will open up Balmoral Castle to the paying public, with tickets for guided tours being sold for £100 a pop. Afternoon tea can be included for an extra £50. Meanwhile, private areas of Buckingham Palace will also be open to the public for the first time, with new tours featuring the famous centre room, which leads out onto the palace balcony, that famous balcony. These tickets will set you back £75 per person. So, the monarchy is thought to have made around £140,000 from ticket sales already, with demand for Balmoral tickets crashing the website at one point. But many have been left perplexed by the price tags. And tonight I am asking, should the public have to pay to go on tours of royal palaces? Let me know your thoughts. GBViews at gbnews.com, at GBnews on Twitter. Go and vote in our poll. The results will follow shortly. But going head-to-head on this, our TV personality, Nicola Mclean, and royal journalist Sarah-Louise Robertson. Thank you very much for joining me, both of you. Sarah, I'll start with you. Should we have to pay for this? Don't we already pay for them?
I don't understand why people have got a problem with this. Fundamentally, if you don't agree with it, just don't go. Don't pay the money. At the end of the day, people will pay in the hundreds to go to concerts at the O2 and other venues and think nothing of it. Theatre tickets are expensive these days. So really, actually, it's in line with what people would pay on average anyway to go to something that they wish to see. And just think of the sense of history, what you're getting for that £100 to go to Balmoral and walk in the footsteps of Queen Victoria, I think is incredible. But this is aimed really, I think, at an American and Japanese market. And American tourists have money to burn. So it's nothing to them. It's small change to them.
Well, actually, that brings me on to my next question. Nicola, look, I understand that you're against this, are you? What's your view?
Yeah, so personally, I don't think they should be opening up their sacred homes to the public. But if they want to, then I don't think that they should be charging them astronomical prices in this cost of living crisis when most people can't afford it. As you say, Sarah, it's for the history. So we shouldn't then be alienating people that do want to go for the history, because most people can't afford £100 to go and walk around and then £50 for some cucumber sandwiches. I mean, I'm not sure where they got that from. I could make them for a lot cheaper. But no, why don't we open it up? Why don't we open it up for free to schools to go around and have a look? You know, for me, I just don't think that there's many people that I know that could afford, as a family, afford to go and walk around Balmoral. Now, luckily, I wouldn't want to do that. For the people that do want to do that and can't afford it, it's a shame. If you're open a historical cultural site up, then it should be accessible to people. It's not like going to watch Beyonce, who charges a fortune. This is about our royal family that we do actually pay for. Well, on that then, Sarah-Louise, would you say Brits go free?
Yes, I think so. At the end of the day, the royal family generates from the royal collection £400 million a year back to the taxpayer. That's an incredible sum of money. And the sovereign grant, we only give them £93 million. So actually, King Charles is gifting over 75% of income back. And I think £100... I mean, afternoon tea at the Ritz down the road, £75. So if you look at it in that way, people will. If people have got the money, they will pay. I do see your point, Nicola.
That's the sad point, isn't it? Well, people don't have the money. Well, no one has the sort of money. Well, so you know.
Well, they've sold out, Nicola. This is the thing. I mean, you know, people do. Obviously, there's so much demand that they crushed the website for Balmoral.
Okay, they've sold out, but I guarantee you that there'll be lots of people that want to go that can't afford to go, but that are still having to pay their taxes. So, you know, they're making it a classist thing yet again.
It's a class issue.
No, I don't think it's a class issue, Nicola, because people actually can go, you can walk around the grounds for a lot less. I think it's around about £26, £30 to walk around the grounds. And you do see the ballroom.
Sorry, one at a time. I'll just stick with you, Sarah, and then I'll come back to you. Don't worry. So go on, Sarah.
Yes, sorry. So there is options. Obviously, the £100 and the £150 makes it a bit more of a selective process. If you have got that money, you get a lot more for that. But as I say, if you're wanting that experience, you will pay for it if you want it, and you will find the money. And to a lot of people these days, that's in keeping with what concerts and what other places charge. And we also have to look, as I said before, at what is being generated in terms of revenue for the tourism and the economy. It's millions and millions. They took over 70 million in tourism, which went to the British economy just 2 years ago. That's an incredible amount of money. It's not that King Charles is keeping it in his purse. It doesn't go to him. It's his private residence.
We'll park it there for now, and I'll come to you, Nicola, on this. People do bang on about the royal family and say they're not accessible enough and they don't pay their own way.
But he's opening it up.
Right, Nicola. But this is a way of them definitely doing that, isn't it? I mean, they are literally opening up their own homes, and they're raising a bit of money.
They're opening their homes, as I say, for people that can afford it. And that's where I think it's sad. It's if you are putting it down to a historical place to go and look, I think it should be open to everyone. You don't go to the museums and, you can only go in this room if you've got the money, but you have to stay in that room if you don't. And that's what it feels like. So you can go and walk around for £25 or whatever you said, but only if you've got the money can you go and walk around the other places. And I don't think that's right when taxpayers are paying their money and they can't, with the cost of living crisis, people are choosing heating and eating, let alone going to Balmoral.
I do accept your point, but to be honest, though, you do pay a little bit. Like the Tate Modern, people think that's free. I mean, I've had several shocking experiences in there, mostly because I think the art is naff and doesn't make sense. But you can pay more to go and see Yoko Ono's exhibit if you're a nutter, and you would have to pay to enter that, right? And so, it does happen, Sarah. It's not that uncommon. The National Trust, some of their car parks are 16 quid a pop.
I just would like to say that the upkeep of the residences and palaces comes to the taxpayer of around about 500 million a year. However, 2.5 billion is generated back to us. So actually spending 500 million to get 2.5 billion back, that's a fantastic investment. You can't argue with those figures. They speak for themselves.
Let's cut to the core of this then, Nicola. Are you a fan of the royal family or not?
I'm not a royalist, no. I mean, I wouldn't be paying to go and look around myself. So, I'm lucky that I won't need to find that money.
Yeah, and whereas you are so maybe this is it, isn't it? It's just basically just like, look, if you are a massive royalist, you'll probably find 100 quid and you might go and you might want it. If not, then I suppose no one's holding a gun to your head. But both of you, thank you very much. Cracking head-to-head, as ever. That was Nicola Mclean there, TV personality, royal journalist Sarah-Louise Robertson. Look, who do you agree with, all right? So should the public pay to tour the palaces? Richard on X says, this is not about the UK public, this is about tourists paying top dollar into the UK economy, all right? Jean says, if people have £100 to waste, then that's their business. Stacey says, it doesn't matter how much they charge. What matters is thousands of people silly enough to part with their money to visit. I pity humanity. I don't think I agree with that. I'd pay £100 to look around Balmoral. I mean, how often are you there? Maybe that's just me. Anyway, your verdict is now in. Let's find out, shall we? 68% of you think that the public should pay to tour our palaces. There we go. 32% of you say that we should not pay to tour our palaces.